This is Chavo Guerrero Jr. Listen to the Wrestling POV podcast. You guys truly bring the Latino heat. Viva la raza.
Wrestling POV is preposterous, is obnoxious, is atrocious, is ridiculous, is churlish, is interesting, but stupid! Wrestling POV is your point of view, bring you 20 years of change in the wrestling business. From the spotlight to the polls, from birthdays to hot tech news. Wrestling news, rumors, and injury report. Covered by the greatest in the whole damn sport. This week in wrestling, who made the book? 5 second shuffle, pay-per-view, points games. Love, peace, and wrestling is what they're all about. So sit back, kick back, and hear them all out. Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police. Bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Jimmy Uso, man.
I don't know.
Jimmy Uso arrested again for D.U.Why. Fourth time. Fourth time.
Jesus, man.
When are you gonna learn, bud? Seriously.
Yeah. And
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's because he thinks he's famous, or does he have a problem?
I think he has a problem.
Straight up problem. Yeah.
Jesus.
I don't know what to say to it. I mean, one time is one thing, but you do it 4, it's like, dude, you've got serious issues.
You got an issue.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that I remember a long time ago, Jimmy and Jay, I think, weren't they both drunk driving or something like that?
Yes.
At one point.
I remember that.
Remember how, because we made fun of them too. Because remember how they cut their hair and we called them the Dominican Usos?
Yes.
For the longest time. Well, the reason why they cut their hair is because he said that, he goes, every time we got in trouble, we always had long hair. So that's why we cut it. So if you look, Jay's hair is still cut. Jimmy grew his out.
Yep.
And he's the one that was out there drinking and driving.
Again. Well, speaking of bad boys, we got Tony Diaz, Clay Cummings, Rick Serrano III here, Wrestling POV podcast.
Yeah.
The baddest of boys, yes.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Uso, man, he blew a .205.
Damn.
That's a lot.
That is
the legal limit.
That's
he
a lot.
got a 205. Yeah. So fourth time.
Jesus. But
WWE is doing nothing about it, though.
You know, I was just about to say that. It doesn't look like they are, is it?
Nope.
No.
If he was on SmackDown this week,
he was on SmackDown.
Right, that's what I'm saying. WWE's not doing anything about it, which is the sad part.
I thought for sure that they were, especially when they let off with it. I was like, oh, they might beat his ass down and say, "C'est la vie." You know, get yourself some help.
The sad part is, I feel like it's going to take somebody getting hurt for them to do something about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the fourth time. The third time he did it, they put him on. He was on TV. He won the tag team titles.
Yes,
you remember that? Yeah, he won the tag team titles the last time.
I remember.
So it's WWE keeps on saying it's not our fault. It's not our business. All right, when he kills somebody.
But what's funny is that, you know, I'm sorry, but he represents you. He represents the company. How could you say that? You know, I mean, Vince needs to really, you know, I hear stories about Vince where he'll send people to rehab and pay for it.
Yeah.
Vince, it's time. I know he listens to the show too, so I don't want to hear that bullshit.
Oh, listen to Tony Diaz talk about me paying for rehab. Fucker.
Jimmy needs it, man. I feel like Jimmy needs it at this point.
Yeah. I mean, in the beginning, like I said, I mean, we'll obviously talk about SmackDown later, but my thing is, like I said, in the beginning of SmackDown, I thought for sure, like Roman was either going to be like, beat his ass to a pulp. That way it'll send him off, or say, listen, I don't want you around right now. You fucked up last week. You know what I'm saying? It would have been perfect. or at the end of SmackDown, have him get his ass whooped to the point of where he couldn't come back, or even do an injury. You know, Jimmy Uso injured. Okay, that's fine. That's the way to keep him off TV. The man needs help.
Yeah,
he needs help. Oh my God. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. And then once we find something, and obviously we'll report it. But I got a question for you guys before we start the show. I was listening to Conan. If you guys don't know Conan, just the old guy in AEW. No, I'm kidding. Conan, man, WCW, all that. He runs AAA. I was listening to his show one time. Not one time, yesterday, actually. And he mentioned, they were talking about Vader. And they were talking about people telling stories or whatever. And he mentioned that Vader is from Compton.
Wow.
Really?
That's what he said. But the way he was saying it was like he was laughing like Vader was ribbing them. So they never got the truth of, is Vader originally from Compton? Now, the first person I should have asked was Kenny Casanova because he wrote his damn book. You know what I'm saying? But I just found it like odd. I'm like, wait a minute, he's from Compton? Oh, shit, Vader? No, he can't be. But at the same time, Vader was also a real estate agent.
Wow.
I can't even says he was born in Linwood, California. If that's anywhere near Compton, I don't know.
I have no idea.
No clue.
No idea.
So we'll figure that out. We'll do a little more research. But Tony, I have a question for you about Conan. I was on Wrestling POV Global this past week. Yeah. And TJ Logan has a question for you. He says, as a Latino wrestler, is Conan the godfather of Latinos in wrestling?
I'm gonna
does he look out for all the Latinos? Does he protect the Latino wrestlers?
Yes, he does. He does. I know that for a fact. He's done a lot of behind the scenes stuff that a lot of people don't know about. But I'm saying this, he did this like towards the end of his career.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. That motherfucker, he'll still put himself over, but he knows how to tell a story, and he's constantly helping people all the time, wrestlers. But is he the godfather of Latino wrestling? Is that what you?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm a respectfully say no.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of others that were there before him, and I'm sure he'll say the same thing. Mil Mascaras, if we really want to, there's Pedro Morales. There's a lot of pioneers, Hispanic pioneers in wrestling that I would consider more of the godfather of Latino wrestling than him. He is definitely up there. I'm not going to take that away. I'm not saying that, no, he doesn't. No, he definitely can. Some people might even consider him that. But the way he runs his shows, he does it he caters to the crowd, put it that way.
Gotcha.
And that's rare. That's rare. And he'll tell you too, if you fucked up, he'll tell you fucked up. If if it's a good storyline, he'll keep pushing that until it gets played out, and then he goes on to something else. So there.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Right. Let's just move on to the spotlight, shall we?
Yeah.
This week's spotlight, we have Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I saw it was 4th of July last weekend, and I said, you know what? We need to have an all-American, and it's Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Did Hacksaw Jim Duggan deserve to win the first ever Royal Rumble? Now, before we answer this question, the Royal Rumble, the first ever one, had only 20 participants, and I'm going to name all 20 of them right now. And you're going to tell me, was Hacksaw Jim Duggan the one that stuck out as the one that should have won? Okay. Here we go. And this is the order that they came out as well. Mm-hmm. Bret Hart, Tito Santana, Butch Reed, Jim Neidhart, Jake Roberts, Harley Race, Jim Brunzell, Sam Houston, Dangerous Danny Davis, Boris Zukov, Don Morocco, Nikolai Volkov, Jim Duggan, Ron Bass, Brian Blair, Hillbilly Jim, Dino Bravo, The Ultimate Warrior, One Man Gang, and Junkyard Dog. Now, out of that list, does Hacksaw Jim Duggan deserve to be the one to win the first ever Royal Rumble? Now, if I'm Vince McMahon, I can't predict that the Royal Rumble is going to be as huge as it turned out to be. But I have to think it's going to be pretty big. And to have Hacksaw Jim Duggan win the first ever one, I have to respectfully decline. I think a heel should have won this first one, in my opinion. I'm looking at One Man Gang, who eliminated 6 people in 6 minutes. I'm looking at Nikolai Volkov, maybe could have won this.
You're missing two key players: Don Morocco
and Harley Race.
Wasn't he like? I don't want to say towards his end of his career, but wasn't he like kind of?
Yeah, he was
dwindling down a little bit.
Yeah.
But also Bret Hart. How come you couldn't give it to him? Well, he didn't really make his start until what, like 2 years later?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was still Hart Foundation full. Yeah. Him and Jim Neidhart, they were still the tag team.
The one I hear that's sticking out to me is Don Morocco.
Yeah,
he should have been the first one to win that. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, a native of Glens Falls, New York, which was just literally a half hour away from me. 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Very popular up there. Why did they? I mean, as far as I could remember, I don't see. I don't remember him being like on top of the world, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? At that time,
and he wasn't even USA at that time. I don't think.
No,
he was wearing the black trunks. Yep. He had the white boots, so I don't even think he was in the USA at that time. Clay, any names stick out for you that you think would?
For me, Harley Race. I mean, yes, he was towards the end of his career at that time, but as much lineage as he has, I could see him winning that Royal Rumble. Or like Tony said, Don Morocco, at that time. Do I think Duggan deserved it? Respectfully, I would have to agree with you. No. I like Jim Duggan. I didn't think he was the right guy to be the first ever Royal Rumble winner, but it is what it is for that. So I would have to say no, but I wouldn't have mind seeing Harley win that. That would definitely, because how much WWE, goes big on Harley Race. So I would have to say that.
You know what I'm really shocked at is that nobody said Ultimate Warrior deserved to win. Like the Ultimate Warrior was part of this. Why didn't he win? I mean, I know he went on to start fighting against Dino Bravo and stuff like that. Yeah. And this is what led to that feud. But still, Ultimate Warrior was in there, man.
I gotta say, our hometown hero. That's Ultimate Warrior's from my hometown. So yes, he is. But he was still up and coming during that time, I think, too. So
well, One Man Gang, Akeem, the African Dream.
Jesus,
I feel like he could have definitely done something with that. I remember having the One Man Gang action figure, the rubber action figure with the big rubber ones. Yes, guys, move. Back in the day, they don't move, they don't bend. The action
they don't
figures,
bend, they don't do shit.
Rubber.
You have them like this, flexing, and that's all you get. So when you fight, you're like,
exactly. But those were the best. My cousin had a whole bag full, like Jake the Snake's bag full of rubber action figures. It was amazing.
Wow.
But I have to tell you this: the people have voted. 100% say Hacksaw Jim Duggan deserves to win the Royal Rumble, the first ever.
Really?
Yes. I mean,
so. Yeah. No. Why people? Come on now. Oh my God. Anyway, there you go. There's your spotlight. I don't agree with it, but whatever. All right. Let's keep this because I'm disappointed right now. Seriously, people, come on now. All right. The question that had me dying But we were talking about it last week. Was who would win in a fight, Cardi B or Sasha Banks?
Ow.
Yeah. Darren Metzler said, "What? How bored are you?"
Damn.
Thanks, Darren. Appreciate it. Jesus. Vernon Hampton said, "Who booked this shit, brother?" It was a question that we asked. We were just curious, on who would really fight. I mean, like upon careful consideration and listening to the show last week, you guys are straight up saying that Cardi B was hood and Sasha wasn't. Where is Sasha from, anyways?
Boston.
She's from Boston. Okay,
Boston.
I mean, I would have to root for Cardi B because she's from my area in the Bronx, but I don't know, man. I mean, how many kerfuffles has she been in since she's been famous? She's just been doing a lot of Twitter wars and all this other shit. Can Sasha really fight?
I can see that she may be able to.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said last week, I feel like Cardi's got a hood style and afraid not to, do anything, So that's a different kind of fight. That really is. Like technically, maybe Sasha's got her, but if you want a ground for pound hood fight, I think Cardi.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Got to say that.
You still agree with that, Rick?
I'm looking into some details right now online. Right now, but first of all, they're both 28 years old.
Wow.
Sasha just turned 29, actually. But Cardi's gonna be turning 29 shortly. Mm-hmm. So this is crazy. They're both the same age. One's from Boston, one's from New York. You got that rivalry in itself. I'm telling you right now, I want to see this at SummerSlam.
Oh gosh.
Well, it's kind of hard because she's pregnant, so.
Yep.
Cardi's pregnant again?
Yeah.
Cardi's pregnant. Yep.
Oh, man. Then we're not going to see the SummerSlam. I really would have wished to see that at SummerSlam. That would be amazing.
I think I would have liked to have seen this, yeah. But
especially after what Bad Bunny did.
Right? But see, that's the thing. She would have to outdo Bad Bunny.
Nah, she couldn't. There ain't no way.
She would have to. No. She would just have to outdo Snooki. That's all she would have to outdo.
No. Wow. You know what? She would have to outdo Snoop Dogg.
Oh, gosh.
That's as far as I'll go with it. Because Snooki didn't do that bad. Snoop Dogg did terrible. And Snoop Dogg, he did a little bit of some skits with them with WWE back in the day. I think it was with Chavo.
Yeah.
And he wasn't that bad then, but his recent stunt of that horrible freaking frog splash, I'm like, no, brother. So I think he's gonna. I think Cardi has to outdo him. With that horrible frog splash.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my guns and say Cardi mops the floor with Sasha Banks, and that's solely based off of her being from New York. Cardi B.
Cardi B is gonna beat up on Sasha?
Yeah.
You think so?
I was actually looking for the weight, but they don't put the weight for the women on Wikipedia.
No, they don't. They don't. I wonder why. I don't know, man. I mean, Cardi, like, do they have at least her height? The height?
Yes, they do. Let's check it out.
I mean, because it seems like Cardi B is pretty tall.
Yeah.
You would think, right?
How tall is Sasha?
Sasha's not that tall.
No, she's like 5'5", 5'6".
Maybe.
That's what I was guessing. I don't know.
They don't have Cardi B's height, but let's see if they have Sasha Banks' height.
But you would think that they, Jesus,
5'5" is Sasha Banks.
Wow, look at that! I was right.
Okay, so about same height.
Cardi B's 5'5".
Cardi B's 5'3".
5'3".
Yeah.
Wow. Cardi B is 5'3".
Yeah.
Boy, she makes herself larger than life, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. All right.
Geez.
So does that change your votes?
I think it does. I mean, it's only a 2-inch difference, but still.
I mean, 2 inches is a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
That's what she said. Well, I don't know if it changes my mind.
It doesn't.
I didn't know Cardi B is 5'2",
5'3",
or 5'3", and Sasha's 5. Wow. I still don't know if that changes my mind.
Doesn't me at all. I feel like Cardi would whip her ass.
But we're talking wrestling. Are we talking wrestling or in the street fight?
We're talking about a scrap.
I'm saying fight. Yeah. Street fight.
Yeah, I think a street fight. Yeah, I have to go with Cardi on this one. Yeah, wrestling.
It's Sasha all day.
Sasha, right?
Yeah.
Now we're talking street fight, brawl, cat fight, all in all. So, yeah.
What you be watching? Girls Gone Wild.
Clay, wipe your mouth, Clay. Wipe your mouth.
Your chin. Get your chin right there, Clay. But wow. Okay. Sure.
Well, I have the numbers.
Oh boy.
And 64% say Sasha Banks would whoop Cardi's ass.
Wow.
Really?
36% say Cardi would whoop Sasha.
Wow. That surprises me. That really does.
Yeah.
Huh.
We talk about Cardi B a lot on this show.
Yeah, well,
just gotta say that.
Well, let's just break it down for the folks who just tuned in. Why we're talking about this is because they were at a Twitter war, right?
Yeah,
a while ago.
Yeah,
and I think it was during the time. I think it was Soulja Boy. Was it Soulja Boy and Randy?
Soulja Boy and Norton.
And so she I guess came on and started doing her shit too about with Sasha. And then they started having this little Twitter war, and we were like, I wonder if they're trying to set this up for SummerSlam. And that, because that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. And then, of course, what's the theme song for SummerSlam? It's one of Cardi B's songs.
It's up and it's up and it's up and it's up.
I still have not heard that song. But
how have you not heard that song?
He lives on a rock.
In New Mexico. But no, I mean, I think I would be interested in this.
I would.
Yeah.
I would too.
All right. Well, there you go, people. There's the numbers for you. Up next on our poll or post, we have named this tag team. It is T-Bar and Mace. See what I did there? And T-Bar, I mean, they're not going by retribution, are they? There's just T-Bar and Mace?
Nope. Yep.
All right. Well, here's some god-awful answers. Ricky Jones, well, he was being nice. He said the Gangsters, but that was done before. Joshua Butler, he said the Butthole Surfers. That's wrong. Marco Quiz, this was stupid. He said Goldust and Booker T. Paul Tarango, he said Powers of Pain.
Wow. No, come on. That's been done.
It has been done. Yes, I do agree. Carlos Pinheiro said Demolition. What the fuck? What is going on? Orlando Wiley said the Shield. Oh my God. Are we really doing this today?
Don't even compare them to the Shield.
Are we really doing this today?
No.
People, what the fuck are you thinking? This was supposed to be funny. Craig Covington Jr. said Hayden Rock and Orlando Jordan. John Burnham says Cast-Offs. Magnus Leisure, he says the Reascension. Vernon Hampton said Stunted Potential. Sure. Jesse says Bootleg Ascension. Dumb and Ass. Belle Biv DeVoe. No chance. Belle Biv DeVoe. Yeah. The Revolution, and then somebody put a gif of Dave Chappelle as Rick James. The Revolution. Oh, this one's wrong. Jose Ortiz. He says Milli Vanilli.
Girl, you know it. Girl, you know it.
Well, that's because of Mason's hair.
Yeah.
Daryl Foster says Kid and Play. Alex Ziegler. Oh, he's related. He put a gif of Ren and Stimpy. I would laugh though. George Rodriguez says want a bees. John Pryor went a totally different direction, and he says wish they had not been called up to the main roster.
Dang.
Not what we was asking. Another one, girl. You know it's true. Culture Club. That's wrong. Goat. No. Ebony and Ivory. Oh my god.
Okay, it had to be one.
Yeah. Teabag and Maze. Twisted Sister. Oh,
that's not bad.
That's messed up. This Abu Tariq, he put the letter C and the letter U, and then he said next Tuesday club. So I'll put that all together. See you next Tuesday club, meaning cunt. LOD 2000. Angel Velardo, he says meow meow. What, man?
Oh man.
Out of all things, meow meow is a good name for him. Oh my god, Rick, you said you had a name for him. What did you do?
I got Law and Odor.
No.
No, that one didn't work.
I got Predators. No.
Yeah.
No. What do you guys got? Do you guys got one?
Yeah.
What do you got?
I got one.
What's that?
No, I don't got one.
No.
I couldn't think. You got one, Clay?
I do not. I've tried, and I failed.
I don't think they need to still go by retribution. That's the thing.
So what you're saying is by default, I'm the champion of naming tag teams.
Nope.
That's what what you just said.
Not one person said that.
I am the champion of naming tag teams. This is amazing.
But you're not the 5-second shuffle champ.
Oh,
for now. For now. Yo, let's go to the end of the show right now.
Clay, shut that shit down. He's like,
that's why I'm here.
Excuse me. No, I don't have a name for these guys. I mean, oh my god. And I'm normally good with names, but this one's a little difficult, especially after their loss to the Lucha House Party. Anyway, unbelievable. Unreal. That's it for the post, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yep. You know what? Let's go straight into the wrestling news from around the world. Take it away, Rick.
All right. Before we do that, let's get into some birthdays. Yahoo! All right. Shelton Benjamin turns 46 years old.
Wow, 46 and chasing after the 24/7 championship.
Yes,
Isn't
he
that
is.
Sad. Gosh, that pissed me off. But go ahead.
We got Wildcat Mark Merrow. Wow, turns 58 years old.
Wow.
Yeah,
no kidding.
And he's doing a lot. He's doing very well for himself.
He does motivational speaking.
Yes, he does. He's been doing really well with that. Appreciate that.
And there was a viral video actually of him talking to these kids and making them all cry because he was telling them straight up, you know. He does a lot of good work, and also recently he did a podcast and was saying stuff about WWE, not in a negative way, but he was talking about how Vince really liked him because how he did the Johnny B. Bad gimmick. And but something happened where I guess Mark was against the whole steroid use and era or whatever, and he spoke out about it. So Mark Merrow says he is blackballed from WWE because of that, because he spoke out. So he says he doesn't see himself ever being in the Hall of Fame. So,
wow, that's sad.
It is, right?
Yeah. Barry Windham, my favorite horseman, turns 61 years old.
Oh, Barry.
Yeah.
Hillbilly Jim Sweet turns 69 years old.
He's not here to give a speech, is he?
No, let's hope not. Sid Vicious turned 61 years old.
Wow.
Psycho Sid, yeah.
Yeah.
Now here's where it gets interesting, gentlemen, because the next two guys are my last two. They both turned the same age. Now you tell me, do they look like they're the same age? Gilbert turned 62 years old.
Wow.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
His counterpart, Kevin Nash, also turned 62 years old.
Holy shit.
Really?
Wow. Well, Gilbert looked 62 15 years ago.
Yes.
Didn't Gilbert here recently have a stroke?
Yeah.
Too?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
That's what I thought. I'm not making fun of that by any means.
I mean, Clay, wrong time.
No. I'm not making fun of that, but hey.
I'm like, damn, Clay just like, shot, I'm like, where's Clay going with this?
No, I'm just saying, sometimes when you have a stroke, you age a lot more than you should.
He's been looking. I think he looks younger after the stroke. I mean, the guy has been looking 62 for about 30 years.
Yeah.
But Kevin Nash looks good for 62.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's older than Barry Windham and Psycho Sid.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's a year older.
Yeah.
Shit. Wow.
Wow. So Kevin Nash, big sexy. Yeah.
Dude, what are you doing?
With that being said, it's now time for the wrestling news from around the world. As said earlier in the show, Jimmy Uso was arrested again for the fourth time for blowing a .205, so his fourth DUI. Jimmy, get some help, bro. Get some help. Dana Brooke gets engaged.
To who?
So she's with an MMA guy. I don't have the name.
Oh,
but
okay. Remember she was with Batista a while ago.
Yeah, yep. She's been wanting to smash and crash. So I guess she did that. Speaking of getting Raw, Monday Night Raw had its all-time low rating of all time, of all the times.
And so did SmackDown too.
It did, but Monday Night Raw has been around longer.
and SmackDown had the lowest of the two.
Damn.
But yeah, since 1993, since Monday Night Raw has been running, it's been its lowest ever of all time. So they got to do some fixing around with that. With that being said, it's now time for the NXT UK report with our UK correspondent, Matt Nowak.
Hello again, and welcome back to the NXT UK report. Nathan Fraser versus Kenny Williams kicked off the night in what was a highly technical bout, with Fraser dominating the majority of the match, but failing to put the match to bed. He suffered a damaged knee mid-match, which caused him a lot of issues, and ultimately got too much and allowed Williams to take advantage and pick up the win. This was a very good match, and both men looked really disciplined in the ring. Mark Andrews was next up, facing off against one half of the tag team champs, Pretty Deadly's Lewis Hawley. There was a stipulation added to the match that if Andrews wins, Subculture would be granted a title match and aim to become the first two-time tag champs. The match had some really solid sequences and had a really good flow to it. Andrews picked up the win via a beautifully executed shooting star press after a fairly long match, and in turn secured their title match. Blair Davenport made her debut next. She came to the ring looking $1 million. Her entrance gear and music really fitted her character. She was facing off against another debutant, Laura Di Matteo, who did her role perfectly and made Blair Davenport look great. Davenport picked up the win fairly easily and then put the whole women's division on notice in a promo after the match. Her experience in other promotions really showed here, and she's someone who will no doubt elevate this women's division. Sid Scala broke the news in a backstage segment next that in 2 weeks we'll have the rematch for the NXT title between Walter and Dragunov. This promises to be an epic encounter, so that's something to really look forward to. Additionally, he announced that we'll be getting a contract signed next week between the two men, so let's see what happens there. On the main event, Trent Seven faced off against Eddie Dennis. These two men really are at the top of their game and take the brand to the next level with their addition to the roster. Seven has got into amazing shape recently and took Dennis a long time into this match, and after firing off some outside interference from the other members of Symbiosis, hit the Birmingham Hammer for the pin. But as soon as the bell rung, Symbiosis rushed the ring and began to beat down Seven before Bate came to make the save, wielding a set of nunchucks, kind of like the Turtles. This match was one of the best I've seen on the show to date this year. I know I keep championing people to move over onto the main NXT roster, but I honestly feel when the Undisputed Era broke up, Dunn should have reunited British Strong Style and brought Seven and Bate over. I'm not sure what else they can do really now to impress and be called up to take that next step. This is Matt Nowak, and that is the NXT UK report.
All right, thank you very much for that, Matt. Tony Diaz.
That's the man.
Let's get some rumors.
All right. John Cena is now free from his acting responsibilities from the Peacemaker, and he is locked. He is a lock for SummerSlam, they're saying. His new film, Argyle, a spy thriller with an absolute all-star cast, will film in Europe in August. It's unclear how Cena will make the filming work, but he is not missing SummerSlam for this new project. So it seems like Cena really wants to be committed to SummerSlam this year.
I said, all right.
Oh, okay. WWE executive offered Zelina Vega an apology before making an offer to her for her return to the company. So they said they were sorry.
Okay.
Sure. Roderick Strong recently signed a new deal with WWE, and they have big plans for him in NXT throughout the rest of the year. So he might be in line for a push. Excited?
No.
Me neither. And finally, Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic recently took to Twitter to express their desire to bring back the former faction known as the Latino World Order.
No.
Why not?
No, because it would have to be led by Rey, and Rey is the worst ever to talk, and I don't want to hear what he has to say. No.
You know, though, if they did bring the LWO back, who should lead it? Santos Escobar.
Ooh.
Bring that faction in. Have them lead it.
I think you got something there.
Just a thought.
I think you got something there, my friend.
Yeah.
All right. But Lucha House Party, should they be in it?
No. Angel Garza.
Angel.
Yeah.
Now listen, I'm not saying exactly this, but Angel could be a version of Eddie Guerrero.
Well, they do look at him like that. Vince
I can
sees
see
him
you.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when he's chasing the 24/7 title.
I know, right?
Yeah. Eddie Guerrero all day.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't do the shake like that while he was chasing it.
Right.
There you go. All right. So that's my rumors. Clay, injury.
Unfortunately, some bad news. Rick's girl, Bailey, possible torn ACL and is out for 9 months.
Ouch.
You know, this one hurts because I felt like she was going to win the title against Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
I felt like she was going to win and then get cashed in on. But this one is stinger for sure. I really think one of the things I really appreciated about Bailey was her take on the Thunderdome. You know, she was probably my favorite part of the Thunderdome. She had probably the best title run out of everybody in the Thunderdome. Look at Asuka.
You said her take on the Thunderdome, which was what?
Her title reign.
No. I thought you meant like she had an opinion about the Thunderdome.
Oh, no. Just her title reign. Her title reign in itself, it was something that wasn't boring. Right, everybody else seemed to be Asuka, Drew McIntyre. They just seemed boring as champion. She actually brought something to the table.
Just to be fair, though, it is the Thunderdome.
No, and it's difficult.
It is very hard, but I agree with what you said. But she did made it work, while the others didn't.
Yeah, she found a way, and this sucks, man. 9 months, she's gonna miss Mania again. It looks like.
You think she'll miss Mania? I think
9 months is April.
Is it?
They could, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll change the date for Mania for her? Because
I wish.
Come back early.
She may come back early.
She could, yeah. There's been several wrestlers that have come back before they say they were going to. So it could be a possibility.
I mean, she's missing Survivor Series. She's missing
the Rumble.
So she ain't going to be back for that. But here's my thing, though. Don't make it. Don't ruin it by saying the return of Bailey.
Right. 100%.
Make it a surprise. It's a damn shame.
Yep.
Sad news this week. Yep, for sure. What else you got, Clay?
That's the only injury I have this week.
That's the only injury that matters.
while Rick is wiping his tears, let's go straight into the hot tag news this week, which was what was your favorite moment of the Thunderdome era?
Yeah,
Rick, what was your favorite?
Well, my favorite moment was Bayley being champion, but I think our hot tag news of the week this week was going to be Johnny Gargano. Does he deserve another championship opportunity?
No. No.
No, right? It's
Nope.
simple.
No.
Gargano, another opportunity at the championship. When are they going to change things for this guy?
But let me tell you something. What's getting me really upset about it, though, is that Karrion Kross, Johnny Gargano.
Yep, the height
No.
difference.
it's not believable.
It's not.
It's
But
not.
not only, but what? All right, let me rephrase that from what you said. Is not believable, Clay.
Okay.
Johnny is playing the heel role. It looks like.
Yeah.
And so is Karrion Kross. So no, it doesn't work. Like if Gargano was a super baby face, then I can see this working. But you got Johnny cutting these promos on Karrion like he's gonna whoop his ass. It's like, dude, no.
Yeah.
You couldn't even tie my wife's boots? Really? That's the line that you give?
Yeah.
Oh, terrible. Don't like it. Never liked Johnny Gargano to begin with, anyway.
Yeah, we definitely had issues with Johnny Gargano on this show where it's just like
because he's
it
always
has to be
fucking
believable.
inventing
Yeah,
the damn takeovers.
Every one of them.
everything. Yep.
Every one of them. But the thing is with me, and I've kind of noticed this on NXT, when Cross and Gargano had that little segment there, I felt like the crowd was trying to get Johnny over, like Johnny
It seemed like it,
baby
right?
face. Yes,
Yeah.
like trying to make him like Johnny wrestling and trying to make him, but I'm like, he's trying to play a heel. It's just, it's confusing on who's heel, who's face, who's, you know, that. I just kind of noticed that. So I didn't know where they were going with that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you because that's what it seemed like at one point. But, no Scarlett with Karrion this week.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know
a
what they're
shame.
doing. I don't know what they're doing. I'm scared for her.
Mm-hmm. So right. All right, Rick, what are your thoughts? What are your final thoughts on that?
Final thoughts is Johnny Gargano, unfortunately, needs to go to the main roster. That's what I think. That's the only way to save his career. I feel like he is
Really?
You know what? No, I'm going to change that because it's not to save his career. Because people fucking love this guy. They love him. They love that he gets all these opportunities. I don't get it.
I don't either.
No, not to save his career, to save my interest in Johnny Gargano, put him to the main roster so he can go for the mid titles. He will be a great Intercontinental champion. He'll be a great United States champion. I see him as a great 24/7 champion, in my opinion. But he would be a great mid card champion in the WWE. So send his ass to the main roster already. Because he's done everything there is to do in NXT. The time for a change.
Clay, do you agree with Rick?
You know, unfortunately, I would have to say I do agree. Not that Rick's wrong. The fact is, I don't want to see Johnny on the main roster. I just don't. I don't want to see it. I don't want to believe it. But
here's the thing, though. I think if he does go to the main roster, I don't think he'll get that many championship main event opportunities as he would.
He wouldn't.
If he stayed in NXT.
he
So
may
maybe
get
that would be a good thing.
he may get the Daniel Bryan effect. Honestly, do you think?
That would take a while. I think. I think him and Sami Zayn could do a program together. Him and Dolph Ziggler could do a program together, and guys like that. But to get to the title picture, Royal Rumble winner kind of thing,
Money in the Bank winner.
Years. Yeah, that'll take a couple of years, I think.
Mhm.
I just feel like with the crowd itself, of how people love Johnny Gargano for some reason. I don't get it.
Who knows?
You're right. I could see him getting that Daniel Bryan effect going. He's not Daniel Bryan, but
No.
I don't know. Just I'm calling it how I see it. So
All right, that's your hot tag news for the week. And those that are out there, if you have any suggestions or you want us to talk about a certain hot tag news for the week, drop us a line on our Facebook page, and then we'll talk about it for the next week's episode. So there you are. We need content, people. We love content. We thrive on content.
Say it one more time.
We thrive on content. Is that that's what you want? Okay. With that being said, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause. When we come back, we have This Week in Wrestling.
Hey, everybody. Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. Make sure to listen to the Wrestling POV podcast.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to the Wrestling POV podcast.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go to prowrestlingtees.com/WrestlingPOV and pick up a t-shirt today from the Wrestling POV podcast. We have 5 t-shirts all available for you for $19.99 plus shipping and handling. You don't want to miss out on these great opportunities. 5 great t-shirts. It helps us run these shows, so make sure you purchase a shirt today. We have Wrestling POV podcast, what you're listening to right now, with myself, Tony Diaz, and Clay Cummings. We go over everything WWE, as well as Matt Nowak goes over NXT UK. So you don't want to miss out on this great show because it's hilarious. And of course, you have the greatest Wrestling POV podcast champion of all time on the show as well, Rich Reynolds III. Let's not forget you have Wrestling POV Global every Thursday with TJ Logan, Elio Canella, and Andy Anderson. They go over everything AEW, MLW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact. They go over everything, and they go deep dive into Dynamite, and they go over every single match from beginning to end. Don't miss out on that. Great Canadian fun. Also, we have WPOV Aftermath, where we go over everything of a pay-per-view. We go through each match, we give our opinions, and we also crown a Wrestling POV podcast champion, and we crown the loser of them all, the Rick's Round of the Turd Award winner.
Very prestigious award.
And I will be getting back into the pay-per-view points game shortly after this plug for Wrestling POV Quarantine, which you don't want to miss out on every Wednesday, where we have random wrestling topics going over on our YouTube-based show. We have wrestling historians, wrestling legends, wrestling up-and-comers, authors, and so much more come onto the show with our panel of Wrestling POV as well. We go talk everything about wrestling. Going back into the pay-per-view points game, guys, after Money in the Bank, we are coming back with our NASCAR-style pay-per-view points game for 1 year to crown the Wrestling POV champion, who will be receiving the Wrestling POV Podcast Championship belt, the custom-made belt. You don't want to miss out on that opportunity. It is coming back for SummerSlam. SummerSlam will be the first event, and we're going to go a whole year. And you know what, guys? We're not stopping there. Not only are we going to be doing WWE pay-per-views, we're going to also be doing AEW pay-per-views for the pay-per-view points game. So you don't want to miss out. There's many opportunities for you guys to get this championship belt custom-made. Also, to add on, every winner of the pay-per-view points game for each pay-per-view will be receiving a Wrestling POV podcast t-shirt from us. So you don't want to miss out on this great opportunity. We want you to take this belt from us. And let's see if you guys can do that. We'll see.
It's basically the Wrestling POV crew versus everybody.
Yes.
Let's go.
So we're
not taking this belt from us.
We're trying to prevent the fans, the people, from taking this custom-made belt from us, because if one of us win it, it stays with us. But a fan can win it, and it will be sent to your home. So a lot of good deals, especially the newsbreaker of adding AEW pay-per-views. So those that are out there, though, if you're not familiar with the NASCAR rules, basically go look it up. It's not very difficult, but it does mean you have to play every pay-per-view if you want to stay in it to win it.
Whoa, in it to win it. That's amazing. How did you do that, Tony?
You know, it just popped up in my head just like that.
Wow. Speaking of popped up in your head,
nobody can see.
Let's get raw, Tony.
All right, let's go straight on to Raw. Low points. I'll start off with the low point. For me, it was R-Truth, Riker versus Elias.
Yes.
Yep.
I gave it a 0.5 because I'm just like, all right, seriously, you brought R-Truth into this. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he chases the 24/7 title.
Yep.
Ridiculous, churlish, and I hated it. Yeah, I gave it a 0.5. Rick, what was your low point?
Yeah, I gave the same thing, a 0.5, but to be a little different, I gave a 1 to Nia, Shayna, Eva, and Doudrop defeating who is that? Naomi, Alexa, Nikki Ash.
Really? Why?
It was just
that bad.
No, it was that bad. I'm sorry.
I can think of other things that was worse than that.
Listen, first of all, the fact that Eva Marie was in it and I gave it a low point shows you something about it, okay?
That surprised me. Honestly.
I don't like Nikki Ash. I don't like Nia Jax. Naomi is struggling right now. This whole match and Asuka. Anything with Asuka in it is just I'm over. I'm over anything with Asuka. It's like she needed to take time off and she did it.
And she didn't.
No.
And I'm over this rivalry, if you want to call it a rivalry at this point. You basically just squashed the Money in the Bank participants by having them lose this match.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And now, like, it just didn't make sense to me. But yeah, so that's why I gave it a 1. That's my low points of Raw.
Right.
My low points for me had to be the R-Truth and Jackson Riker versus Cedric Alexander and Elias. I give it a 0.5. This whole thing was just garbage in general. Like I was kind of excited for Truth because I was like, oh, he's actually getting a match on Raw.
Yeah,
and he
the same
takes
thing.
off. Right. And another way to be different, I did not like the whole Charlotte medical update with Rhea Ripley.
You didn't like that?
I did not.
I laughed with Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley really did make that segment something. Because I was too. I agree with you with Charlotte doing that. But then when Rhea came out and started mocking her, I was like, oh, Rhea just saved this fucking segment because she was mocking her. And it was her way, I think, because we made this comment before that she was being compared way too much with Charlotte. So I think this was her way of saying, you want me to go? Okay, well, look, so I thought the segment was good. I thought it was funny. I think she saved it though.
She did, and to a point where I just gave it a 1 instead of that, I would have given it a 0.5. It just
what a save, Rhea.
Yeah, it just to me it just wasn't there. And then plus then they both throw, the crutches away and then they're fighting. It's like, what was this whole reason for? Like I
think the rivalry between these two is not bad.
No,
because
I think it's terrible.
No.
I think it's terrible.
These two are really going at it with each other. Like they're making it seem like there is hatred between those two. And that's what I like about this. I'm not really getting bored with it. I'm just like, all right, this is seeming real. And I mean, because Rhea decked Charlotte in the mouth a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh shit, there's gonna be some receipts there. So, and that's what I like, So high point for me, I gave it to Ricochet Morrison again with a 3.5. It was good. I thought this was good. And the second close, I gave it to AJ versus Riddle. I gave that a 3. But Ricochet Morrison, man, they got something there. They got something there, but like what Rick said last week, those high-fly crazy stunts, they won't be able to do that when a live crowd returns unless they go to the back and record earlier and do that. But I really, honestly, I still think they can still do a good match anyway. But to me, this is the one that stood out the most. Rick, what was your high point?
My high point was Riddle defeating AJ Styles. I gave it a 3. I thought it was really competitive match. I thought AJ was great. I think Riddle is really, really one of the best things going right now in professional wrestling as a whole. Also, Jinder Mahal backstage, man. I just gotta say, as a side note, he still got that bald patch. He tried to keep his left side just showing, but he ended up moving to the right and showed the bald patch. So I just want to mention that out there as well. And just another side note, Ali defeating Mansoor. Where are they going with this? What are they doing?
It might be a tag. I'm assuming. I think they're gonna be a tag. Yeah.
But Mansoor with that hair does not go. Like that's a baby. Yeah, that's a baby face hairstyle.
Yeah, it's like it didn't. Like when he had the wild looking long hair, that kind of fit him. But yeah, this little hairdo that he's got now, it's not cutting it. It's not cutting it.
Oh, it's not cutting it.
Man, you got to give me my props. All right, high points, Clay.
My highest point I had to give to AJ Styles versus Riddle. I gave it a 3.5. Just these AJ, always great work. Riddle, again, like I said last week, he's starting to become one of my favorites. This whole match in general was great.
Yeah, it sure was. What was he talking about? The Riddle match, right?
The Riddle match, and about how AJ was just killing it with Riddle on a regular.
Now, let me ask you a question. Since we're talking about that match, do you think that it's time for AJ to get rid of the tag belts and go for a singles run?
I mean,
I think so.
What's happening with these tag team titles in both shows? It just seems like
exactly
they're not doing anything with it.
No. All right, Clay, you want to finish what you were saying?
Yeah, basically, AJ versus Riddle was 3.5 for me. I thought this was a great match. AJ, did his thing, always does. Riddle, again, becoming one of my favorites, can work with everybody. So, and how they sold his ankle injury, that was pretty good through the entire match.
Yeah.
Viking Raiders
in the very beginning when he fell off the ladder. He's
like,
hey, almost we were about the same height. Give me a high five.
Yeah.
Right with you, bro. And speaking of Riddle, who was he talking to? I don't know who he was talking to. He wasn't talking to us, but
Priest?
He was,
Priest? Was it Damien Priest?
No, he was on a show. And talking
gotcha.
about how he went up to, because remember, when was it? Oh my God. I would have to say a couple of years ago, there was a little bit of heat between Riddle and Seth Rollins. Because Riddle's wife made a comment about Becky Lynch and stuff like that, and it was remember that one Royal Rumble when Seth just went in and just kind of got out because he didn't want to do a program. He didn't want to get into.
It was Survivor Series.
Was it Survivor Series?
Yeah, he got eliminated right away because he didn't want to get involved. Yep. Right.
It was that during that time, and Riddle went up to him and like. Seth would snub him, fuck you, like just kept on walking. And then finally Riddle got a chance to talk to him and told him, listen, I don't agree with what my wife said. So from me, I apologize, and I apologize for her too. And, Seth came out and was shocked and said, I did not expect that from you. So, but Riddle came out and apologized on his behalf and his wife's behalf, and was just like, I didn't agree with what my wife said, and I'm truly sorry. I hope we can work a program later on down the road. So, it was good to hear shit like that. But Riddle, I think they got something with Riddle. I tell you that much. But my question to you is, as any stand-up comedian. And I'm bringing this up for a reason. As any stand-up comedian, every time you go up on that show, you do a show, you got to keep these people laughing. It's just like what I say about the knock joke. Everybody knows when I say that, it's a constant thing over and over and over. It's the same shit. After a while, it's not going to be funny. You think Riddle has what it takes to keep this momentum going as a, I don't want to say a comedy act, but it is quite funny. But do you think he has what it takes to keep this going?
Yeah, I think he really does, because he has this perfect equality about where he could be funny and where he could be serious. at the same time. So it's like, I feel like Riddle could pull it off, make funnier stuff every week and keep the ball rolling. I could see him pulling it off.
Yeah.
And I completely disagree. I think the funny stuff is running its course. I think
so.
The Randy and the whole thing with the key and the zipping his lip and all that stuff. I'm just like, bro, you're a grown ass man. What are you doing? Like, I get it's supposed to be funny, but it was funny the first couple of times. Now it's just like, Randy, come on, bro. It's running his course. Not to say that he's not the best. Like I said, he is the best thing going in WWE right now. Like his wrestling style and everything is really good. But I am getting a little sick of this whole arcade bro thing. And here we go.
You are. Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Damn.
Yeah.
It got you this week, Rick.
Yeah.
My God. All right, overalls. Before I go with my overalls, though, I do got a question on my side notes. Rick, did you forget about your schoolboy account?
Oh, yes, I did.
Because there was a couple of them I've been noticing lately on all brands. They're doing a lot of pins with the schoolboy again. So you might have
bring
to
it back.
Huh?
Yep. You got to bring it back.
You might have to bring that back because I saw it. And I immediately put it on my notes because I didn't want to forget it because I have been seeing every time I see it, I'm like, oh shit, Rick's fucking schoolboy account. I keep forgetting to write it down, but I wrote it down this week and you might have to bring it back.
Yeah. You
might have to bring it back because I think one too many of it this week or not in the past several weeks. All right. Overall, I gave Raw a 2.05 this week. Rick.
I gave it a 1.8.
Clay.
I gave it a 1.9.
Wow.
All right. With that being said, it's now time for AEW Dynamite.
Boom. Boom.
Road Rager.
Yeah.
The what?
The Road Rager.
Oh,
they're on the road.
Sure.
The first time. Low points of Road Rager, I have to say, was the Ricky Starks Brian Cage promo. I gave it a 0.5. Absolute Ricky Starks is absolute trash. I do not like Ricky Starks.
Wow.
Brian Cage. I do not like what Ricky Starks said about his wife either. FTW stands for wife. So instead of saying fuck the world, it was fuck the wife. That was disrespectful in all kinds of ways. For a mediocre fucking rivalry, you're going to go and say something like that. No, that was my lowest point, 0.5. Tony, what was your low points of AEW?
Oh, boy, you really want to know?
I do.
Okay. Archer. That segment.
How dare you?
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
That segment that they did with that promoter guy.
Dan Lambert.
Dan Lambert, yeah. I hated everything about it.
Wow.
You know why? Even though he did take that bump, I give him credit, and that's the only reason why I gave it a 0.5 is because he took that bump. But you had Masvidal and Nunes there.
Yep.
They did nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing. They had an opportunity right there, and they did nothing with them. Masvidal could have easily came in the ring, did a punch or a deuce fucking, I think the crowd would have popped big time if Nunes came in and was like right up to Lance, yo, I'll fuck you up. I don't give a damn how. It was ruined. It was ruined. Granted, the guy can't cut a promo. Seems like
I was gonna say that. Yeah,
but it was garbage. It made no sense. Okay, they were planting the seeds. But they did it. Nothing grew because they had Masvidal and you had Nunes right there, and they did nothing with them. Honestly, and I think Andy Anderson said this on Global. He says WWE does storytelling right compared to AEW. If these guys were in WWE, they definitely would have done something. Nunes and Masvidal, they definitely would have done something. They would have made them do something. Hey, throw a shot, even if it was, but they did nothing. They just showed Nunes is the baddest woman. Fuck Ronda Rousey. She is the baddest woman in the fucking planet, and you did nothing with her. Nothing. Masvidal is the BMF champion. Okay, if you don't know what that is, fucking go to the Google. And they did nothing with him. Instead, you had this dude that I didn't even know who the fuck he was.
I had to look him up. I really did.
No, so would that be like there's 3 of us? 2 out of the 3 didn't know who the fuck he was. So what does that tell you?
That tells you that you need to watch MLW. That tells you have to know who American Top Team is in the UFC. Well, let me tell you this. Dan Lambert cut probably one of the greatest promos I've heard in eons. That promo was so old school. It was good.
It was good. Somewhat old school, but come on, man. He didn't
stutter. He didn't make a mistake.
Only 1 out of the 3 knew who he was. Man. He did. He took those bumps. I give him props for that.
Yeah.
But I was more upset. I mean, it's nothing against the guy. I'm just like, who the fuck is he? And why is he cutting his pretty good promo? But I was upset because Lance Archer came out, beat the fuck out of him, which was okay. But Nunes and Masvidal did nothing.
They probably have a fight coming up.
It doesn't matter. No, they don't. Because there's a fight tonight with McGregor. They're not on the card. So their fight ain't till next month. So I don't hear that shit. They
still could have done a little bit of something.
They did something by just being there.
But I'm saying in the ring. No. By saying in the ring.
No, they don't need to get in the ring. They're probably in training.
Yes, they do. Those are the 2 biggest stars of UFC, and they did nothing except wave.
That's it.
Masvidal is a heel in UFC, and he did nothing. Come on.
Well, after his last loss, I think he became a babyface.
Yeah, he became a babyface.
Clay, what's your low points of AEW?
Well, I'm going to add to it that
I wasn't done.
Oh, okay. All right.
Jesus Christ. No, I'm kidding. No, I gave it a 0.5. Go ahead, Clay.
No, I'm just going to add to exactly what Tony said, the whole Dan Lambert promo. I had, honestly, going into this, I had no idea who he was. I knew who Masvidal was, and I knew who Nunes was. But the fact that they didn't do anything, like Tony said, in the ring at all, AEW would have gotten multimedia like crazy if at least one of them 2 did something. Like either not realistically punch Lance Archer, but at least try to show up. Like that would have gave them so much media, and they ruined it by doing it. Now, I'm not saying Dan Lambert's promo was terrible. It was actually pretty decent. For somebody like myself not knowing who he was, he did cut a good promo and took a good bump. But the fact that this was just so random, it was just so random. I give it a 0.5. I did not enjoy it at all.
Wow. All right. Well, my high points of AEW this week was the Young Bucks defeating Penta and Eddie Kingston again in the street fight. Gave it a 3. First of all, Young Bucks outfits with their jorts was amazing. They had the cigarette earrings, the bandanas, all that. I'm not a huge fan of thumbtacks, but they made it work. I thought this was a great match. I gave it a 3 overall.
A little too dangerous though, putting them.
Oh, of course. That's what they do on AEW though. They do the fucking reckless behavior stuff. It's churlish as well. But I gave it a 3. Also, another point I gave a 2.5 was to Malachi Black's appearance. Now, this could have been a lot higher had it not been with Arn Anderson and Cody Rhodes. And also because of Excalibur. Oh, that's Tommy. That's Tommy End. That's Tommy. No, it's Malachi Black.
Yep.
Why are we calling him Tommy End? It's Malachi Black. Malachi Black. Oh, Malachi Black. Tony.
Why is he called Tommy End?
What's the deal with Tommy End?
What is the deal with a Malachi Black? Seinfeld reference, people. Come on, get it right. My high point, no, I agree with you. It was Young Bucks versus Penta and Eddie Kingston. I gave it a 3.5, though. I thought it was a really good match. That's the only thing that honestly kept me entertained. But before we go on to Clay, I did want to point out about the fan that came in. Now there's a story behind that. But before I go into that story, did you guys notice Jericho while they were doing this promo? Every time they cut to him, did you guys notice what he was doing in there?
He looked pissed.
No, he was giving MJF times. If you know, go watch it again, because there was one point like when MJF was talking, Jericho was like this, doing this, and then when the camera got on him and he knew, he quickly put his hand away, and the camera actually went off.
Wow!
About another minute later, you see Jericho like this, doing this, and then another minute later, you see Jericho going like this. So he was giving them times of his promo, like, you have 3 minutes, kid. And when he was cutting it, and then he was counting down every minute for MJF. So
wow,
yeah,
I'll have to look back at that.
Go look back and watch it. It's like, wow, you really, Jericho? You have to give him times. But either way, all right. So now back to the story. So apparently, the fan that tried coming in, number one, we've discussed this before. I hate fucking when people do that. It's stupid.
Yep.
But Jim Cornette, apparently this dude did it for Jim Cornette. At first, now this is what's puzzling to me. I got to look more into it, so just take this with a grain of salt. But at first, Jim Cornette was against it. He was just like, that's fucking stupid. I hope next time you do it, I hope everybody fucking gets a shot at you and blah, 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 blah. But then I guess he was also quoted as praising this kid for doing this for him, or he sent him to do that for some reason or another. So I don't know what the exact truth is, but that's what's been going around in the interwebs. So once I find out more, if it's true, it's like, come on, Jim, now you're being an asshole. It's just, to me, that's just stupid. So yeah. I just want to throw it out there.
Any fan that does that shit is so fucking stupid. I just can't stand any like in that, not just pro wrestling, just like in NBA, MLB, NFL. You do that shit, you're a fucking idiot. I'm just telling you straight up, and I hope you get your ass beat. By whoever attacks you on the field or in the ring.
I tell you, the most justified one I could always remember is with the Hall of Fame, when that guy tried to
get Bret Hart.
And was it Dax or was it the other guy? I think it was the other guy. Gave him a fucking shot, boy. Pow! Right when they were escorting him out, he decked him hard. And Davey Boy Smith Jr. jumped in on this shit, and Rhonda's husband jumped in. I was like, whoa, they messing this dude up. So just remember, if you try to do some dumb shit like that, especially in a professional wrestling environment, just be prepared that you're gonna get fucked up. And I've been in that situation. It's not funny. I've been in that situation before too. And trust me, we all got our fucking shots in. So where were we?
And that's the thing too. Like, not going on to this, and I'm sorry to do this, but you're just getting fans back in arenas, and you're about to see a show.
Exactly.
And then these jackasses come in like that. It's just sad. Really is.
Exactly. Yep.
So.
All right, Clay, high points of AEW.
Oh yeah, high points.
High points for me was also the Young Bucks versus Eddie Kingston Penta. I gave it a 3. Thought this match was really solid. Not surprised again that the Young Bucks retained the titles. And I just thought this was a solid match overall, so I gave it a 3.
Now, I just want to throw this out there. What are your guys' thoughts on the Young Bucks appearing every week and actually having decent matches every single week? What are your thoughts on that?
It's pretty good. I really think. I feel like they play a good heel. They make the match entertaining itself, so I don't mind it.
I've made this comment before, and I'm sticking to it. I'm a fan of the Young Bucks' matches.
Yes.
Okay, and I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Well, I'll tell you this about the Young Bucks. For me, I appreciate them because they make me excited. I wish they open up every single Dynamite. That's how excited I am when I watch their matches. They really set the bar. When they close out the show, I'm just like, because like we had Cody defeating QT Marshall in a strap match to open up the show, and it just wasn't the same as if the Young Bucks opened up the show. So I guess that's what I'm trying to get with it, is like the Young Bucks are just really a really good tag team that I really want to see every single week.
Now, let me throw this question at you, to the both of you. Do you think that they should have closed out the show with Malachi Black debuting, or with the championship match?
No, with the debut of Malachi Black.
Are you kidding me? The thing of it is, they were planting the seeds already when they shut the lights off or flickering whatever they were doing. So nobody really thought of, somebody's coming. Nobody. If they would have done that throughout the show, a lot of people would have been like, what the fuck? People, get your shit together. But the commentators, please, they don't entertain it either. Just saying, we got some power issues here or whatever. No, just leave it. Probably at one point during one of these lame ass matches, do it for a good 5 seconds. And then come on back up, and then have sorry, folks, we were experiencing technical difficulty, just to make it somewhat believable. Then that way, towards the end, when he debuted, shit. That would have been a great way to close out AEW. But
exactly.
No, we're only a podcast.
Yes, the best podcast of the best.
Absolutely.
Speaking of overall, I gave AEW this week a 2.1. Tony.
I gave AEW a 1.45.
Wowzers. Clay.
I didn't like
it. I gave AEW a 1.8.
All right. Clay?
All right. We're going right into NXT. My low points for NXT and the Hit Row celebration. As much as I'm trying to like this group, and trying to fathom what is going on here, none of those guys could rap. Now, I am a country bumpkin. I am not a rap fan per se, but what the hell was I watching during that whole thing? None of them could rap. Swerve was going like he was Eminem. Like he was going, it sounded like an auctioneer. Like, what the hell? And the whole celebration itself, it looked like a damn concert. Like, or trying to be one of them, concerts going on. I gave that thing a whole 0.5. I just did not enjoy this whatsoever. Rick, what was your low points?
I mean, Hit Row's Cypher celebration, I gave it a 0.5 as well. I mean, I'm not dumb, but I also gave a 0.5 to Regal and Samoa Joe and Gargano and Cross. I mean, I gave that a 0.5. I'm just, like we said, the more Cross talks, the worse it gets. And I gave that a 0.5 as well. Those are my two low points of NXT this week.
All right. And Tony?
Same with y'all, but the Hit Row. But I reached out to the Wrestling POV president, and I hated this so much, I gave it a 0.
Wow.
He said yes, absolutely.
Shit Row.
It was not Hit Row. It was Shit Row. Shit Row.
The thing is, like
I'm fucking rhyming with this shit. And again, and the Karrion Kross and Gargano promo, didn't like it either. I'm like, I think Karrion, and that's actually probably be a good question to put on our Facebook page. Does Karrion Kross need Scarlett by his side? Because he did kind of look, but he's still intimidating looking though. He's still, he still has that going for him. I think with Scarlett, it just adds that extra adobo to the sazon.
Yes, I see what you're saying. The little,
just just like that. That's a Spanish reference, people. But I gave it 0. President said, I agree with you. He said the same thing, especially when he said if everybody has a 0.5, you can give it a 0. So there you go.
All right. High points for me was the Ciampa and Thatcher versus MSK. I gave it a 3.5. Thought, and we have said this before. I think Tony has said it more. MSK is young and is doing really good, but I feel like Ciampa and Thatcher in this gave him a lesson. Really, beat the shit out of MSK.
Mm-hmm. And
I
I totally agree. I do. And I'll tell you this much. I was stuck between MSK versus, but you know what? No, it's not my turn. I just want to say this though, real quick off of what Clay was saying was that, and I wanted to say this last week. I just didn't. Like MSK's promo with Gargano, with Thatcher and Ciampa, MSK looked lost in that promo last week. And just like what Clay said, they whooped their ass this past week. But that promo, they did look lost. They looked like two lost little boys. So if anybody, I don't want to hear nobody out there saying they're ready for the main roster. No, they're not. Because they looked intimidated. They did not know pretty much what to say. So they came out with the bullshit. Put some respect in it. No, shut the fuck up. You just got scared. Stop it. Because Thatcher and Ciampa, they fucked them up. Like what? Go ahead. Finish what you were saying, Clay. Sorry.
But basically, what I was saying, like I said, that Ciampa and Thatcher gave him a lesson. And, not saying that MSK hasn't worked before, but I feel like Ciampa and Thatcher was their toughest opponent they've had as champs. Now, the match itself was great. I was really entertained by the whole thing. I gave it a 3.5. And again, MSK retains, and that's fine. But I would love to see more of Thatcher and Ciampa versus MSK. They pretty much had a good show. So, Rick, what was your high points of NXT?
My highest point was Zoe Stark and Io Shirai defeating The Way. I gave it a 3. I thought it was a really entertaining match. We got new tag team champions in the women's division for NXT, and we had the return of Tegan Nox, which was really big for NXT until SmackDown. I don't know what happened there. But overall, that was my highest point. I gave it a 3. And also honorable mention, LA Knight defeating Cameron Grimes. Now Cameron Grimes is the butler to LA Knight. So we'll see how that works out for him.
Yeah, most definitely. That'll be an interesting story still. Tony, what was your high points?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I had 2 of them that were tied with a 3, which was LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes and MSK versus Ciampa and Thatcher. I gave that one a 3 too. Of course, if I'm gonna have to choose, I will go with the LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes. It was a good bet, and I'm interested to see what's gonna happen next now that he's his butler.
Yeah,
another Seinfeld reference there. But that's those 2 were my highs. But if I have to pick one, I'll go with LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes. 3.
Gotcha. Overall, I gave NXT a 2.3 this week. Tony,
wow!
I gave it a 2 this week, and what hurt it was that 0.
Yeah. And then Rick, what was your overall?
I gave it a 1.7, and what could have made it better was Adam Cole defeating Kyle O'Reilly. That match was just long, and I was
gonna say. I mean, speaking of that, I gave it a 2.5. What did you give it?
I gave it a 2.
You gave it a 2. What, Clay? What did you give it?
I gave it a 2.5.
Wow. So I mean, for that being the main event.
This rivalry, the thing is, the rivalry is just old.
Sucks. Yeah.
It's outdone. It's ran its course.
No, I agree. I just hope it's just finished after this. No more.
Oh, you would hope.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Well, it's tied now.
No more ties. No, cut it.
Yeah.
Cut it. Done.
With that being said, it's now time for the SmackDown breakdown. We'll go with the low points. My lowest point was that women's promo with Sonya Deville, Bayley, Carmella, Liv Morgan, Bianca. Gave it a 0.5.
So wait, I don't just to refresh my memory, because Like I was using the restroom during that point. Like even during the commercial. No, I mean I had to go, but like during the commercial, and then it went into this, so I missed some of it. What happened in the beginning? Like did Sonya announce that Bailey
was hurt?
Can't fight.
Like what happened?
Yeah. So Sonya's announcing that Bailey got injured during training and that she won't be available for 9 months, and that Carmella will be replacing her in the title match, but it won't be happening at Money in the Bank. It's going to happen on the SmackDown with the live audience.
That's where I was confused with, because I could have sworn she did. I heard her say that, and then like I saw later. Was it later on? I think, or right after, or some shit. It was later on. They showed the graphic as that. It was advertised for next Friday. I'm like, wait, what? So they're fighting twice already, and they didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I was a little bit confused.
Yeah. Well, the whole promo with Liv Morgan coming out and then Bianca coming out, it was just all scuttlebutt. So I gave it a 0.5.
Really think now that Liv Morgan is involved in the Money in the Bank that she's going to win it now?
No.
You don't think she's going to win it?
I think they want her to win it. They want us to believe that she's going to win it, but I don't think she's going to win it.
No. Okay.
Clay, what is your low points of SmackDown?
I would have to agree. That whole Sonya Deville promo with Bianca, Carmella, Liv Morgan, I gave it a 1. And also the Bailey, when they showed Bailey at the beginning, I thought that was good. How she still played the heel as it's all your fault that I'm hurt. It's da-da-da. I thought she did really good there. And then the rest of it was just, I wasn't for it. I'm not looking forward to really Bianca versus Carmella. That whole thing in general. So I gave it a 1. I just wasn't invested in it.
All right, Tony, what was your low points of SmackDown?
Same thing. Carmella, the Liv Morgan promo, I gave it a 0.5. If I had to be different, the Shinsuke and Corbin thing, come on now. It's going on every week that they're wrestling now. It's like, stop. It's enough. And it is like they're finding an excuse to have these two wrestle. So I'm tired of it. I'm done. Stop. Have Shinsuke go off on a different direction. If you are going to change Corbin's gimmick, have him disappear from TV for a while or do something else with him instead of with Shinsuke. Stop. It's enough.
Yeah. My high points, I gave it to Seth Rollins defeating Cesaro. Gave it a 3.5.
Facing who?
Cesaro.
Cesaro? I thought he faced Cesaro.
Oh, Tony, that was a reach.
Yeah, nothing. I didn't.
Yeah. No, Seth defeating Cesaro, gave it a 3.5. I thought it was a really good match. I thought it was a solid match, even though we've seen this a bunch of times. This is one of those matches that you can watch a bunch of times and still be really, really entertained by it. So I gave that a 3.5. I also gave it 3 to Shotzi and Tegan Knox making their SmackDown debut, defeating Natalya and Tamina.
I'm confused with that.
It's not Shotzi Blackheart. It's Shotzi. It's Knox. But they called her Tegan Knox throughout the whole commentary. So I don't know what's going on with that. But that was my 2 highest points of SmackDown this week. Clay, what was your high points?
High points for me also was the Seth Rollins versus Cesaro, or Cesaro, as Tony would say.
Cesaro,
whatever. I gave it a 3.5. I thought these two really work well together. Seth and Cesaro.
I'm gonna put it in the book so that way you guys can hear it. Damn it! So that way you guys understand what it's Cesaro, not Cesaro. It's not Cesaro. It's Cesaro.
All right, so Cesaro is going in the book.
You know what? Since you mentioned it, Rick, sure, we'll put it in the book.
All right, Cesaro, you just made the book.
There you go. All right, finish what you were saying, Clay.
But now I'm back. Okay, so I gave the whole match a 3.5. I thought how they played the where the turnbuckle was and that whole ordeal. They had some good spots in this match, and I'm kind of surprised Seth ended up winning this because I figured Cesaro needed this like momentum to be in Money in the Bank, but it's Seth freaking Rollins. So,
all right, Tony, what was your high points?
Seth versus Cesaro. But I gave it a 2.5 because we've seen this a bunch of times, but this wasn't the best one that they've done together.
No.
So, but for me, this was the highlight, which is sad. But you know what? No, I'll be different. I'll have to go with the Edge promo at the end, where it was a little bit of a scuttlebutt going on. But no, I know you said oof, but I put it as Edge's promo, but it was more towards what happened at the end when they all came out and started duking it out. That's why I gave it 2.5.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because think about this for a minute. You know what would have been good instead of Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio coming out to help Edge?
What?
Bring Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, the Edge heads. Bring them. I was just thinking, like when the Usos came out behind Roman.
What though? Rick's making all these faces, but I'm sure right now that you just earned a best friend with Josh Sanders.
I thought, and I agree, but think about that. That'd be like a family thing. And have Hawkins and Ryder comes back as heads. I love Rick's face right now.
Yeah, Rick, you just like put Rick in a different level right now.
Just stop.
Rick, respond to play.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's ridiculous. I don't want to see the Edge heads. And honestly, I thought that was one of the worst things at the end. The Mysterio's coming back. Oh God, no. But I will say this. Very impressed with Otis. What are they doing with him? Now is the time he should have won the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Right? You think?
This guy is fucking scurry. He is scurry, man. I'm a little scared. But yeah, Otis is really impressing me right now, and the Alpha Academy.
I still feel like he needs facial hair, though. That thing kind of creeps me out.
You know what?
No, the ugliness works.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think the clean and the clean shave look. I think it works. I think him having all that, I think made him look
goofy.
Yeah, like, the goof. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So overall, I gave SmackDown this week a 2.1. Clay,
I gave it a 2.
Tony,
I gave it a 1.58.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go over the Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT versus AEW. Currently, NXT is ahead 5 to AEW's 4 to SmackDown's 2 to Raw's 1. Currently, I have it as SmackDown, AEW, Raw, and NXT. I'm with Tony on this now that NXT has won the last 3 years. So I'm gonna start rating NXT a lot more harsher with the way things are going. So they had a bad week this week, in my opinion. SmackDown, even though I rated it the highest with a 2.1, I don't think it was the best show. I'm going to go with AEW this week. That's going to be my show that I picked for the number 1 spot. Tony, what do you got?
Well, with me, because there's 2 that stood out this week, which was Raw and NXT. But I have, according to my ratings, I have Raw at a 2.05. I have NXT at a 2, and I got SmackDown at 1.58, and I got AEW last this week. So I have Raw, NXT, SmackDown, and then AEW. But the thing of it is, like, the one that hurt NXT the most, in my opinion, even though it was what was this? What was this one called again?
Road Rage?
No, NXT. Great American Bash, sorry.
Yes.
And it's supposed to be something special, but I gave it a 2, and I think what hurt it was Hit Row for me. That's what I think.
Hit Row.
Yeah. So I have, according to my notes, I have Raw, NXT, SmackDown, and then I think AEW wasn't that great for having fans, especially. I just think they did a lot of things wrong. Like I said, that promo, the fucking they should have saved Aleister Black for last. There was a lot of things that they did wrong, so I don't think it was the better show this week. Yeah, Raw,
all right.
NXT, SmackDown, then AEW.
All right, Clay, what do you got?
For me, and I have, if I'm going by my notes, I have NXT, SmackDown, Raw, and AEW. But I'm kind of with you. The whole Hit Row thing, the Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly I wasn't excited for. So I wouldn't say NXT was the best show. I would have to say possibly the one I'm most invested in was probably Raw. So I would probably have to say Raw was the best show this week.
All right. You know what? And, even though I gave Raw 1.8 and it was my third ranked, it was tied for actually it was second place ranked. I would have to agree with you guys too. I did enjoy AEW a little bit more, but I can see Raw winning this week. So Raw will win this week. Raw is going to get its second win. So right now it is NXT with 5, AEW with 4, and Raw and SmackDown with 2 each.
But I will say this, though. I think AEW would have gotten ranked a lot higher and possibly win it this week if they did leave the whole Malachi Black thing for last. I really do. And on top of that, not have fucking Cody involved.
Yeah. Exactly.
And not only that, I know I'm being picky about it, but not only that, I think instead of having that stupid strap match with fucking QT Marshall, how come Miro wasn't on the show?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
TNT champion. You could have did something with him. And no. They had it. They had
chances.
They had it, but they didn't put the right ingredients in.
All right. With that being said, let's open up the book.
All right, those that are new to the show, basically what we do is put the most ridiculous things that happen in the week of wrestling. And you know what? This pandemic era is almost done, people. We got 1 week. We're down to 1 week. Just one show of Raw, one show of NXT, and then live crowds on SmackDown next week. Yep. I'm pumped. I'm psyched. Yes. So the way we have this list, like I said, we just do it for laughs. That's all we do it for. It's a lot of laughs. All right, are we ready?
Yep,
yes, sir.
Okay, coronavirus. We just said it. So hopefully next week. Yeah. Dragon Breath.
Stays.
Roman's Choppers.
Stays.
The Way.
Stays.
No, they stay. They
lost the belts.
Championship picture. Come on.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right. Stays.
AEW rankings.
Stays.
They fucked it up. Oh my God. Tony's hatred for Sasha because she sucks.
Stays.
Clay.
Stays.
Sure.
Heyman's googly eyes.
Stays.
Morrison's cock-a-doodle-doo.
Stays.
Sasha's ghetto laugh.
Stays.
Apollo's non-accent.
Stays.
Drew's storytelling.
He did it again.
Oh my God.
What?
Why is it so bad?
It's terrible.
Like, I thought, honestly, when he was in the gorilla position, I thought he wasn't going to do it. I'm like, well, he's in the gorilla. There's no way he's going to tell a fucking story right before he goes out in the ring. Wrong.
He did.
Because he did, motherfucker. Baldy Sam, go fuck yourself.
Stays.
Aziz's jacket.
Stays.
Jake the Snake's choppers.
Stays.
Rick's Debbie Downer.
Take him out.
No, that stays.
This is what he advocates it real quick. No, he can get out this week. Ricochet's missing gear. It's still missing.
Stays.
Jinder's beard ball spot.
Stays.
Oh my God. Bianca's banana booty butt. Stays. Wrong with y'all? Trying to keep saying that.
I mean, you would want to take it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
I'll peel that banana. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
Actually, that was pretty disgusting. All right. The new entrant into the book, Cesaro.
Stays.
How come Seth Rollins isn't going with that, man? Jesus. All right. That is the end of the show. After we close out the show, we are going to play the 5-second shuffle championship, which right now is held by Clay Cummings. Yes, sir. Rick last week, and Rick's out with a vengeance right now, and he's like, you know what? Fuck him on. I want the shit back. So those that are new, what we do is I just play 5 seconds off a wrestling theme song. It could be their entrance music, or it could. They have several. Some have a few of them. So you have to say it correctly. If you don't, I will not give you that point. So the first 1 to 5 is the winner. That's how we play it. With that being said, I am your host, Tony Diaz, along with the $50 man,
Clay Cummings,
and the third wheel,
Rick Serrano the third.
Love, peace, and wrestling. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace out.
All right, Clay, you have the champion's advantage, so you can either go first or give it to Rick.
I'll go first this week.
Here you go.
Is that Triple H?
Yes, Triple H.
All right.
All right, there you go. You have 1. Okay, Rick, this one's on you.
Let's do it. That is Tori Wilson.
No, it is not. Clay, you want to take this one for the steal?
Is that Michelle McCool?
Yes, Michelle McCool.
Yeah.
Michelle McCool. Clay is up 2-0. He can be up 3-0 with this one.
Is that Tegan Knox?
No, it is not. Rick for the steal.
Is that the Godwins?
No, it is not. It is Tyson Kidd.
Oh.
Didn't we have this one before?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
All right, this one goes back to Rick. Here you go.
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss. Yes, Rick is on the board. It is 2-1 still to Clay. This one's on Clay. Here you go.
Is that Gold Dust?
Yes, it's Gold Dust. In my opinion, one of the best entrance musics ever.
Best of all time.
Yes.
All right, Clay is up 3-1.
Yep.
All right, Rick, this one goes to you.
Stardust.
Yes, it's Stardust.
How ironic is that?
How ironic that we just got Goldust and then now Stardust.
Wow.
Interesting. Clay is still up 3-2. He can be up 4-2 with this one. Jesus.
The Miz.
The Miz, yes. You had this one last week to win it too.
I did.
Wow. All right, you're up 4-2, right?
Yep.
All right, this one goes to you, Rick.
I ain't the lady to mess with.
Kelly.
No, it is not. Clay for the steal and possibly to retain the title.
Victoria,
yes.
Victorious.
Wow. Were you a fan of Victoria?
Yes, I was.
Oh, okay.
I think Clay was a fan of all the females, if you know what I'm saying.
Back in the day.
Wow.
I'm married now, so.
Yeah. Wow. Clay retains the title. Rick, any words? You lost 2 weeks in a row.
No.
All right, we don't own the rights.
I ain't the lady to mess with. Y'all gon' pay the price too. Stop it with your anorexic pocket. Give me the microphone and let me show them off your this. I got the key to the game like a locksmith. And hold out even curves. Give me that to make me boss. Remedy, so we can give me this city pop. Go ahead with your bad self. Put your bad self. I'ma go with my bad self. Go ahead with your bad self. I'ma go with my bad self.